Hugely successful Stockman School was hosted in October, and once again various role players from the livestock value chain were brought together to share valuable ideas and solutions. Here in studio to discuss their involvement in the Stockman School is Dr. Langa Simela from ABSA. Dr. Simela, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me over, Annelie.
Tell us, why does ABSA support the Stockman School?
You know, the livestock industry, particularly rangeland-based livestock industry, will always be a big component of South African agriculture. If you look at our land, over 83 million hectares, that's 70% of South African surface area, or even 87% of agricultural land is suitable for grazing. So it means it's suitable for cattle, sheep, goat, game production. And more, our farmers need to use this rangeland efficiently in order to be productive and be competitive in all the markets that they participate in. They also have to deal with sustainability issues. I mean, we know now there's a lot of concern globally about how much carbon emissions we emit into the atmosphere, and the cattle industry or the livestock industry itself is seen as one of the biggest emitters of carbon into the atmosphere. So our farmers need to be able to control that, manage that, and reduce the carbon emissions while they're being efficient. So we see the Stockman School as one of those platforms where farmers are able to access the latest technologies, the latest techniques to enable them to improve profitability and do so in a sustainable manner. So that's why we've been supporting it over the years.
Another group that can really benefit from the Stockman School are developing farmers.
Truly, and if you look at our agriculture and agro-processing master plan, most of the growth in the livestock industry or in the cattle industry is anticipated to come from the developing farmers. And if you look at productivity in that sector, it's very low. Remember when I was working with emerging farmers, and when I say emerging farmers, it's that group of farmers that were trying to operate in a commercial level, their calving percentage was around 40–45%. Meanwhile, we say that for a commercial viable enterprise, that should be 80–85% or even higher. So there's a lot of growth and development just by improving productivity in that sector. And that's why we support that as well, quite as much as we can. I'm glad to say that since I started working with ABSA, we're seeing more and more of the developing farmers coming into commercial production, and more interestingly as well as stud breeders. So in the Stockman School, we supported about 14 of them to attend the Stockman School for the 3 days.
So banks play such an important role in agriculture broadly, and specifically in livestock. We've seen a lot of ups and downs recently. What does the picture look like to ABSA at the moment?
I think the picture is optimistic. I mean, as I said, we already have the resource. We have the rangeland resource, we have the livestock. So it's more how efficiently we utilize that resource. And I believe the industry and government are working very hard to make sure that that happens. I mean, one of the biggest threats to our livestock industry is biosecurity, particularly your foot and mouth disease and other endemic diseases. So we need to be able to bring in control measures to control the spread of that disease. And more importantly, too, traceability systems that enable those that are disease-free to continue to trade. That's why we continue to support our farmers.